Good afternoon, Hats campers. We are excited to talk with you about the kayak trip for 8th grade. I am Tom Grant.
I am Noah Grant.
And we are going to lead the boys camp out on the first weekend, which is September 13th through 15th.
And I'm Ellie, and this is my dad Tate, and we're going to do the first girls camp out on September 20th to 22nd.
All right.
And I'm Charles Triplett. My daughter Annika and I will be leading y'all on the September 27th through 29th girls camp out.
Okay. And all the stuff about that will also be in the packets you'll get as well on the site.
As you hopefully know, the mission for Hats is growing relationships, communication, and leadership through adventure with our dads. And on this trip, our goal is to deliver that mission to you safely and well.
So this particular camp out, the theme is going to be choosing your path down life's river. So while we're on this camp out, we will be on a river, which as you're going down, you need to think about how life's river has decision points and you need to be paying attention to choosing the correct path. You don't want to be going down rapids constantly throughout life. You need to find the chill waters. So when does the adventure start? Now. You need to start planning your menu, shopping for your supplies, pack and think about what your goals of the weekend are going to be together as a family. And what are our goals for you for the weekend as the directors? First off, 48 hours for you to focus on quality time with your daughter or son without any distractions. Secondly, we want you to be learning together and sharing with each other perspectives on recognizing decision points and how to choose your path well down life's river. And third, we want to be continuing a very exciting journey of growing your relationship with your daughter or your son and continuing to introduce them to communication and leadership skills through adventures.
All right. Okay. How to get there? This one's a little bit more of a haul than usual. It's about 235 miles straight down I-35 to San Marcos. Google it. We'll have directions there, but check on the bypass around I-30 is usually a faster route that will take you around the backside to avoid that traffic. And basically you'll follow your GPS and then head to the San Marcos River Retreat, which will take you there to the San Marcos Scout Camp is what the Google search will look for as well. There's after you turn off, you'll drive and take a left turn into a mobile home campground, and then through a gate that says you shouldn't go through it, but you should, and that's down the hill, and then you'll be in the campground and look for a red hat to guide you to where you need to get to go. Again, there'll be packets. Your packets will have maps, and you also use Google to help you get down there.
And when you get close, there'll be signs pointing you in the right direction.
Of course, always the hat sign telling you where to go.
Great. Some of the gear for this camp out. So we will have a group called Kayak Power taking us down the river on Saturday and Sunday. And so a lot of your days will be taken with that. You definitely need to have a few things though that you're going to bring on it. So extra water, and we're going to have water with you as you're going down in your kayak. Frog togs are still a good thing to have if it is raining through there, and you will get wet on the river, but it can make you a lot warmer if you're going down and you've got the frog togs, and just in case there is rain. Make sure to bring the self-lighting charcoal. We'll have our fires as long as there's not a fire ban during it. Metal stakes. The ground at this camp out is pretty hard, so if you've got some metal stakes, it'll go in the ground a lot easier when you're putting your tent up. Ant poison is actually something that we recommend at this one as well, because sometimes there's a lot of ants and fire ants in that camp out area. They recommend a locking container for your food, but our plan will be for you to leave all your food in your car when you're not there with it, because there's raccoons that are at this site, and we're right along the river.
They will take your food.
I've been the victim. So yes.
If you have your own PF, personal flotation device for it, you can bring it. Otherwise, Kayak Power will bring that for you. And of course, you'll need a swimsuit for this camp out as well, and the shoes that are closed-toed shoes as part of it. Food for the adventures. Is it?
That's good.
For this adventure, lunch to be determined if we have it on the river or not, but a lot of times we'll take our lunch with us, and so you want to pack it and have like Ziploc bags, you've got it closed in and portable for you to take while you're going down the river. But otherwise we'll still have the fire on Saturday night that we'll all cook together with. And Charles can talk to you more since he'll be next, but Lockhart barbecue is really good, so I've heard.
Yeah, you'll be driving through Lockhart, Texas, world famous for barbecue, and that's one of the highlights of this trip. You can either stop on the way down or on the way back on Sunday. There's about 3 big name world-class barbecue joints there that you'll want to check out.
All 3.
Yeah, definitely.
All 3 for sure.
Now we're going to talk just a minute about the non-negotiables. In our 30 years or so of history, we've come up with a few rules that help the camp out flow better. And these are ground rules that we all agree to. I'm sure you know most of them. We go over them every single camp out. The first most important non-negotiable is the 18-inch rule. You are choosing to take this camp out weekend to spend quality time with your daughter or your son, with each other, and you can't do that if the kids are off playing and the adults are sitting around having a cool drink or something. So we do want you to stay together, particularly in the camp out. On the river, stay within sight of each other. You don't have to be, of course, 18 inches, but don't get too spread out. There's no alcohol. Some of you might have come from camping traditions where that's allowed, but it's not allowed at Hats, so leave anything you got in the car. No firearms. Firearms are a distraction, so we don't allow any firearms. No electronics. This is a huge one. We want you to take a break over the weekend, not be checking phones, not be checking email, no iPads, no phones. Our safety teams and directors will monitor the weather. They do have their phones if emergencies pop up, so you do not need them. The last one we're going to focus on is leaving early. If you do need to leave early, if you need to leave the camp out early, make sure you tell the director that you're going to have to leave. If you have an unplanned emergency, middle of the night, whatever, and you get up and leave, that's going to throw the whole camp out off because we are going to have to drop everything and figure out where you are. So just make sure you let us know if you have to leave early. All right.
So let's talk a little bit about safety in Hats. We all know that safety starts with me. Each one of you is responsible for your safety, but beyond that, safety is the only thing that can trump the Hats mission, and that's why every time you go on a camp out, there will be a dedicated safety team making sure that you are staying safe and secure. And particularly on this camp out, the kayak camp out, we will have Kayak Power to teach a little bit about the safety of kayaking, so they'll go over that on the camp out itself. So first off is the 18-inch rule, as was mentioned by Charles earlier. It is going to be a little bit different from this on this camp out because you will be in kayaks, so you will not be able to be right next to each other at all times. But that does not mean you can completely throw it out the window. We want to make sure you are all staying together in one big group as you're going down the river, and we're all going to wait for people to go down rapids, and we're going to go in like sort of a line system so that we don't have people straggling in the back and getting lost, because that would be very bad and we would have to pause the camp out to go find everyone. Next, one of the most important things on this camp out is hydration, so we highly recommend you bring carabiners on your Nalgene bottles so that you can clip them onto your kayaks, and then anytime you get thirsty on the river, you can pull off to the side and just drink from your Nalgene bottle, and we will remember to remind you throughout the camp out to do that consistently. Furthermore, you will be on the kayak, like inside the kayak, for multiple hours on both Saturday and Sunday, and we want to make sure that you have sunscreen on because you won't necessarily have protection all over you, and even though there's a little bit of shade, that's not going to necessarily stop the sun from getting to you, and sunburns aren't very fun. If you have inhalers, EpiPens, or other medications, make sure that they are in date and that you bring them with you on this adventure. If you really need to bring something with you in your kayak or whatever, we can figure that out there. And then the safety team will know about the nearest hospital and will be prepared to direct you there should that need arrive. And then on the safety mentor teams, we will have at least one on every adventure trained through HATS WFA, and you don't need to necessarily worry about safety because we've got you covered. And if you are a little bit unsure or don't want to do some of the scarier parts, such as like the rapids, there are often small workarounds that we can find, but I'm sure everyone will be prepared and ready to go through the camp out as expected.
One point I'd like to add about hydration, the best thing that you can do to make sure you're adequately hydrated on this trip since heat is likely to be an issue, is the day before. So Friday, not so much on the drive down, you don't be drinking a whole lot, but once you get to camp, you need to be chugging water all evening long. You want to pre-hydrate on Friday night so that you start off with full tank. And same thing, first thing in the morning, chug a bunch of water. Not sip, chug. You want to be completely hydrated before we start out. All right?
Good point. All right.
That rolls into weather.
Weather, yeah.
Weather. Okay. Weather, where is weather right here? All right, let's talk a little bit about weather. As you know, HATS is an all-weather camping organization. We do not cancel for weather. Our biggest challenge on this camp out tends to be the heat. We've already talked to you about the importance of hydration, sunblock. You can wear sun shirts, buffs to cover your face. Those things will help keep the sun off of you. Super important to take water, as we've said. This campsite itself has got some tree cover, but if weather blows in, depending on the direction it's coming in, you could have some high winds, so make sure you stake your tent down. We have our safety team and our directors will have their phones with them. We will be monitoring weather conditions, and we would let you know if there's anything out of the ordinary coming up. In the event of storms, particularly in the event of lightning, we have a lightning protocol that we will follow to make sure that everyone's safe. And that's about it for the weather.
Okay, now I'm going to talk about the schedule. The schedule for this trip is a little bit different because we're going to kayak on both Saturday and Sunday. So basically what's going to happen is you're going to get there around 8 to 8:30 at the latest, possibly. Try to make for that because it's a little bit far away, so it's going to be a little later than normal. And we're going to go through our normal evening activities that night, and then we're going to go through our normal morning routine, and then we're going to start getting on the water and do some like warm-ups on the river, and the kayak power is going to talk to you a little bit about what the river's going to be like. And then either we're going to eat lunch back at the campsite or we're going to eat lunch on the river. We don't know yet. And so then after that, we're going to go head down the river, and we're just going to travel down the river as much as we can. We're going to do that all afternoon. We're going to get back, and we're going to have sort of a little chill evening. Going to have dinner and do breakout questions at that night because we're not going to have time Sunday morning, because come Sunday morning, we're going to wake up at 7 a.m., do our little exercise, name game, and then we're going to get back on the river and go down it again. And hopefully we should be able to end around the same time we normally do, maybe a little bit later, and then you're going to get back and be able to pack up and head out.
Yep. Yeah, that's it. This is a great camp out. One of Ellie and I's favorites. We've been on a bunch of times. Love it. You guys love it too. It's a blast. It's a different experience, and the kayak power folks do a great job, as y'all have done in the 7th grade. And just looking forward to it. Thank you.
See you soon.
See you soon.